Good morning, Mark.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Mark. Thanks for joining us again for the third year.
Happy to be here. I love it.
Thank you very much. So we'll leave you in the hands of Jeff Hammond.
Excellent. Thank you. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning, Mark. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am assuming you're in Nashville at this point in time.
I am. Flew down last night. Looking forward to the next couple of days.
Yeah, you've got to be very, very proud of 2022. I mean, for a lot of different reasons, but the main thing is just, kind of like, hey, you started with a bang in the LA Coliseum with Joey Logano, and you ended in a bang, in Phoenix, and him bringing home the championship. Again, Francis said about, you're the global director for Ford Racing, performance. What does that mean to your company right now? I mean, what does that give you at the end of the year when you look back and you try to make a statement to your bosses where we are?
Yeah, as you know, motorsports is part of the DNA, part of the fabric of Ford Motor Company, and based upon how we were founded, 1901 winning a race, 1903 founding the company, and we race in a lot of different places and for a lot of different reasons, including winning races and championships that matter, the innovation and tech transfer, people development, marketing, relationships. But at the end of the day, what matters most is the winning. And especially in a series like NASCAR, in the Cup Series with a driver championship with Joey Logano, in the Truck Series with Zane Smith winning the drivers championship, that makes a statement. And it is top to bottom in our company. That got posted on our homepage so that when everybody logged in on Monday morning, they saw, yes, if they weren't glued to the television on Friday and Sunday watching those races, they certainly knew it when they logged in. And we're still celebrating it. We're going to have Joey Logano and Zane Smith coming into Dearborn to meet with employees and leadership of the company on Thursday of next week. And then we're going to have leadership going down to their race shops the week after just to continue the celebration. And but also continuing with hard work, because we really enjoyed winning the championships this year, but want to go back and win them again next year.
Well, you talk about the Dearborn group. I mean, the guys that work on the assembly line, the ones who, work in the engineering department, because again, y'all been working on some modifications to your Ford Mustang that's going to be played out in 2023. So, I mean, work is always going on. But for Joey and for Zane to be able to go up there, what is that? You see it. I mean, you've been around a long time now. I mean, you've rode the roller coaster up and down and all around. But what does it mean to those folks there? I mean, because you see it on their faces and you really understand this is important.
Yeah, it is. We had Austin Cindric come up to Dearborn after he won the Daytona 500 to start the regular season, and took him to the Flat Rock assembly plant where we build the Mustang. And he went there and he was engaged with the employees that actually build the Mustang. He races a Mustang. He drives a Mustang on the street. So Austin is through and through a Mustang person, a Mustang racer, and the workers, the employees at the assembly plant know that. And to have him there meant so much to them. And then later that day, we took Austin to World Headquarters and met with Jim Farley and all of the senior leaders on the 12th floor of World Headquarters, and just seeing all the smiles on the leaders' faces. So the same thing will be happening on December 8th now with Joey Logano winning the championship and Zane Smith winning the Trucks championship. We'll take Joey to the Mustang plant. We'll take Zane to the F-150 plant, which is also in Dearborn, and then to World Headquarters to meet with the leaders, and then a reception, which we just opened it up to employees to come into the biggest auditorium that we have, which I think only holds about 300 employees. And we had 1,900 people apply to get in for that. So we got to figure out how do we try to accommodate more people, but it means a lot. It really is we call it a pulse positive or a satisfaction positive for the employees of the company for us to be successful on the racetrack.
So when we go back old school and we say what wins on Sunday sells on Monday, it still rings true to this day, right?
Yeah, it absolutely rings true. It's not necessarily literal that when we win with a Mustang on Sunday, we sell a Mustang on Monday morning, but it builds the brand and loyalty and attachment of fans and customers to the brand, so that maybe 3 months later or 6 months later, when they're looking to buy a new truck, a new F-150 or a Super Duty, that they will think Ford first, and that they will go buy a Ford because Joey Logano won in a Ford Mustang on the racetrack, but they'll still go buy a Ford. It's a great connection for us.
Well, you know, we can celebrate during this time now, but at the same time, you have to be realistic, and you got to look back at 2022. And what's your overall assessment of overall Ford racing when it comes to NASCAR?
Yeah, for NASCAR, well, as you said earlier, it meant a lot to start the season winning at the Clash and to finish the season winning the championships like we did. But we always want to win more races. We won a lot of races in 2020, but we didn't win the championship, and that was really a letdown that season, to be honest. This year, we didn't win as many races as we wanted, but we won the championship, at least in Cup and Truck, and that felt really good. But would like to come back in 2023 and win more races. That's important for us to win the championship again. But that takes a lot of hard work. We've got great teams with Team Penske, Wood Brothers, Stewart Haas, RFK, Front Row, Rick Ware. They do a great job for us with great drivers, great personnel, engineers, everybody in the shop. And they are all going to be working hard through this off season. Our team at Ford Performance at our tech center will be working hard through the off season because we want to come back, win more races, and at all levels in Cup and Truck especially, but also in Xfinity.
How important is it to have an alliance that was just recently formed with Rick Ware and RFK, especially with them kind of basically moving on the campus now and becoming, you know, really close with that organization? How much does that benefit? And, you know, how do you look at that from your position?
Yeah, any alliance like that helps because there's more data, more information, more feedback of trying different setups on the car to work across more cars. So that would definitely help both RFK and Rick Ware Racing to be in the same shop, sharing all the build information, sharing the feedback from what they learn at the track to make all the cars faster. So rising tide lifts all ships. That's definitely the case in an arrangement like what they have.
Now, when they do something like that, I know it's a B2B type deal as far as RFK and Rick Ware are concerned, but from Ford's perspective, do you guys have an offer up an outline of how we'd like to see this done so that we feel like that not only is RFK, you know, getting something, but we at Ford are gaining some information? Yeah,
it's that's part of the discussion, part of the arrangement, because the way that we support our teams at our tech center, especially with the simulator, it's access to, we give that access to all of our teams, but when they're working together, they can share that as well. It's not just sharing the track information, it's sharing what they do in the simulator and the simulator time that they have. And that makes it also more efficient for us, so that when we have RFK coming in or Rick Ware coming in, we're able to more efficiently support them. Similar with wind tunnel time, or I guess more specifically the CFD runs, that is allocated per team. So now the ability with Rick Ware and RFK to share some of the CFD runs and information is important for them and their strength, and that's a tool that they use that's provided by us.
Mark, have you been surprised? I mean, I've had the privilege of sitting in your simulator, and, you know, the wow factor is off the chart. But have you been, you know, pleased with the result? Because, I mean, and y'all made a huge monetary commitment to that, you know, and how about the result from it?
Yeah, it is a big investment, and we continue to invest in that building and in the simulators, and we're adding another simulator. We'll have 3 running here in the next month or so. And the new one is even better than the first two. And we continue to make the first two better and better. And they'll never be perfect. It's an engineering tool that is exactly what the name says, simulator. It's to simulate being on the racetrack. It's not being on the racetrack, so it won't be 100%. But we just keep making every element of it better, whether it's the tire model or the physics model for the vehicle or the graphics, the road surface, the queuing, and how all of that plays together. So we're going to keep investing in that because it pays off on the racetrack, but also it serves one of our important missions of innovation and tech transfer to share what we learn in that simulation in the simulator world back onto a road car. So it makes our road cars better as well. So that's an important work stream for us, definitely.
Well, some people ask me, so why do people mess with simulators if it's not repeatable? I said, hold the phone. I said, you've never been to the old style NASCAR where you used to go to the racetrack and you'd be there, Friday, Saturday, and then race on Sunday. And I can promise you, the racetrack changed Friday, and as we went along on Friday, then it changed again on Saturday, and then it changed again on Sunday. You never get the same exact racetrack, no matter where you go and what you do. But the idea is to get some kind of game plan that when the racetrack does change, you know what to do to fix it.
Yeah, and that is an area of focus and learning that we've made in the simulator as well, where we try to look ahead on what's the weather forecast going to be and have those same atmospheric conditions in the simulator for ambient temperature, for track temperature, so that the teams can prepare for what they think they're going to get, and then some variability around it as well, so that they know the sensitivities and how to adjust based upon what they see when they get to the actual track.
I think it'd be unfair if I don't ask you this question, because I know the success that the simulator is able to give you at the 24 Hours of Le Mans back when you decided to go back there. But this is and you brought it up, the simulator allows you to do so much, not with just NASCAR, but with other forms of racing also.
Yeah, absolutely. We use that tech center and those two simulators and soon to be 3 simulators across all of our programs. Not so much for drag racing, it's not so helpful there, but for Australia Supercars, for World Rally Championship, when we developed the new hybrid Puma, our simulator was a big part of that before we had a prototype, and we could start working with the software, with the controls of that hybrid system, with a all new chassis that was being built, the new aerodynamics of the Puma. All of that could be simulated. It could be in a simulator. We had our WRC drivers come over, and we were able to make a lot of progress before we ever had our first prototype. So also, as we're now developing our new Mustang GT4, Mustang GT3, Dark Horse R, all of those vehicles as well, we can run in the simulator for their development. So it's a tool that we use across all of our programs.
Since you brought it up, I think I'd be remiss to say I've had the privilege to go to Finland and cover an RCR race. And the thing that amazes me is that you take a car that you think is just a little old runabout street car, and you turn it into something, when you take the body off of it, that resembles a cross between an off-road vehicle and a Formula One car. I mean, they are a lot more technical than people give credit for. And that World Rallycross stuff, I mean, it's worth, and it bears taking time to look at it and appreciate, at least in my opinion, the talent that's out there and the technology that is in the series alone.
Yeah, definitely WRC and the Rally One cars now, especially with hybrid and the level of engineering that goes into those. It was well over a 2-year development period for us to develop the new Puma hybrid that we started competing with earlier this year. And whether it's in the engine, the controls for the hybrid system, the suspension technology, the aerodynamics, and integrating it all together. And unlike road racing cars or NASCAR, sports car, other open wheel series, they're going on the same track over and over and over again. Whereas rally, They race on asphalt, they race on tarmac, and they've got, depending on the rally, 20 to 25 different stages through the weekend that they need to go through with very different atmospheric conditions as well. So the fact that those vehicles can perform at the level that they do in so many different conditions, it's really remarkable, and the technology there is impressive.
Yes, it is. As we look forward into 2023, you know, we've seen some of the changes going on with your organizations, like we talked about what Rick Ware was doing. What about the other parts of your deal? We see now that there's going to be an addition at Stewart Haas Racing, bringing Cole Custer back to run in the Xfinity Series. Does that mean you're going to make more of an effort to try to go out and win the championship there this year, more so maybe in the last couple of seasons? You know, because I mean, it was like Penske was strong and Stewart Haas was strong, and then, you know, it's been kind of like a seesaw deal. And last year it seemed like it was quite as much of an effort put on getting that done.
Yeah, we've had great success in the Xfinity Series, and most recently with Austin Cindric winning the Xfinity Championship in 2020, and he had a really strong season in 2021, but didn't quite get it done, unfortunately, on the last lap of the last race. But we love the Xfinity Series. When we've had Austin, Chase, Cole there before, having those cars together and able to share and learn information, I think helped them to be more competitive. It was really hard this year, I think, with the lineup that we had, and especially only having one car at Stewart Haas and no cars at Penske. So we are excited to have Cole Custer rejoin in Xfinity, and I think that will he'll be a threat to win every single weekend. And I think that being able to share data and compare for Riley as well will elevate Riley, and really looking forward to seeing those two drivers, two teams working together off the track and on the track for some really good results there.
Let's go back to some international information here. As far as we talked about World Rally, but you know, one of our attendees, Phil Niels, was like to know, can we think about, or will we be able to see Ford more involvement in Canadian motorsports, specifically NASCAR Canada?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know that I have a good answer for that. We don't have a lot of involvement there today. Certainly, as a company, we sell a lot of cars there. We have an assembly plant there and a lot of employees there. The series seems to do well and good teams there, but I can take that away as something we can look at and see what makes sense for more involvement for us. It is something that's important for NASCAR, and I think Steve Phelps talked about it this morning, and we've talked about it in NASCAR OEM councils with Chevy and Toyota there as well. It's important for NASCAR to grow globally, to be stronger globally, and to have some more common technology or common parts across the different global series. That would certainly help if we were able to race the same cars with the next gen car. And if that gets to the point where we start using that in other series for NASCAR, I think that would help us, so that we have one investment in technology that we can then more efficiently compete in the different regional series around the world for NASCAR.
Speaking around the world, are there any areas of the world that you are looking at expanding or strengthening the support or relationships that you have?
We race in a lot of places already. WRC is right now our most global series, and their schedule contracted a little bit globally because of COVID, but now for 2023 that is growing again. We obviously compete in Australia supercars. That's important for us with the new Gen 3 cars coming there next year. We'll have the new Mustang, which we're really excited about starting that season in 2023. And GT3, the new Mustang GT3 that we're doing, and the new Mustang GT4 that we're doing, those will be sold as customer cars around the world. So yes, we will race Mustang GT3 as a factory team, as we are allowed in IMSA. Very excited about that. But as exciting, or maybe more exciting, is the fact that we can with Mustang as the best-selling sports car in the world as a street legal car, we can now sell our Mustang GT3s globally, and they'll be able to compete in all the SRO series around the world, especially with what Greg Gill and Jack Baldwin have in GT America. We'll have a Mustang GT3, Mustang GT4 there. Stefan Ortel has done a fantastic job. I was at 24 Hours of Spa last year. A fantastic race, fantastic series that they have there. But GT3s, GT4s, they race all around the world. So that gives us much more global reach than we've ever had before. And we've got other pockets, like Ford Thailand has started racing the new Ford Ranger truck there in a street series, and had great success. We're doing more and more in the off-road world with Bronco, as you've seen the last couple of years with Bronco R at Baja, with Bronco 4600 at King of the Hammers. And just 2 weeks ago, I was at the Baja 1000 with a Ranger Raptor, which was an incredible race, an incredible experience. And to be able to take a stock truck, race prep it with safety equipment like the roll cage, and complete the Baja 1000, and then drive it home or back to the shop in San Diego. That's great for us, and we look to do more globally in that space as well.
It's again, a big tribute to your brand and your company, because that's one of the things that seemed like you guys have always tried to hold on to, is making it to where the customer can relate to what's on the racetrack. And I think that's been a big feather in your cap for many, many years. And I know, speaking from experience, and I'm sure you're aware of the fact of how successful your program is there at like Charlotte Motor Speedway with your Ford racing program, for people to be able to come out, drive high performance Mustangs and learn how to be, I don't know, I'm not going to say be a race car driver, but how to enjoy some of the things that race car drivers can.
Yeah, that is a big part of what we do, trying to connect with fans, and the job that the Ford Performance Racing School does, both at Charlotte Motor Speedway with Mustangs on the Roval configuration that they use. They have a facility out west in Utah for some of the off-road programs for F-150 Raptor. They do a great job out there. And they also do a lot on-road for customers from STs, from Edge ST and Explorer ST. And it really allows customers that buy those products to come to the Ford Performance Racing School to understand what the products really can do, because a lot of times they don't have enough courage maybe to do it on a public road, but with an instructor beside them in a controlled environment and facility to see what the car or truck that they just purchased is really capable of, it's a great experience for them. There's other retail programs there to get additional time. And yeah, you're right. It allows them to connect and have an understanding with the sport and with the company and with the car that they just bought.
I don't think they're scared of the car. I think they're scared the police is going to get after them after they try to do something with it. But I've always seen big smiles on everybody's face as they go up to the Speedway Club and have their, I guess you might say, their dinner after they've experienced this thing. So a lot of smiles there. Let's touch on this here. I know we're getting a little bit close on time, but let's address the fact of electric vehicles as far as where Ford is with that, not just, in NASCAR, but around the world.
Yeah, I think it was 2018 that we really started looking for motorsports. How do we participate or race with electric vehicles, knowing how much our cycle plan for future road vehicles was going to change towards electric vehicles? And so we took a real hard look at everything that was out there. At the time, it was mostly Formula E. A few more series have come since then with Extreme E. A lot of other series have been proposed, but may have not come to fruition. NHRA has talked about and will have a full electric class there as well, but we haven't yet found the right series, and that's exactly why we've done what we call full electric performance demonstrator. So 2 years ago, we unveiled the Mustang Mach-E 1400 horsepower in a Mustang Mach-E, fantastic performance. The Cobra Jet 1400, more to come in the future on that one. And then the Super Van 4, which we showed at Goodwood in the UK with close to 2,000 horsepower. in a full electric transit van. It just puts a smile on everybody's face, whether you're in the driver's seat, the passenger seat, or watching a van move that quickly. And those have worked really well for us globally. The Mustang Mach-E 1400 has been to China, to Europe, and all around the United States. The Supervan 4 debuted in Europe, and that will come into the US sometime next year, and then also continue globally being used. Those have been great for us in terms of innovation and learning to help us learn about high performance motors, but also the battery cell chemistry and what it takes for the fast discharge rates to run at those power levels, and the heat that comes from that, and the management that's required. So those have worked great for us. We'll continue doing projects like that. But we're still looking and talking to NASCAR, as I think Steve Phelps mentioned also this morning. NASCAR is a great series for us. We've got with Cup, Xfinity, and Truck. Those are great series, and want to see those continue. But NASCAR has that footprint that allows for some experimentation. The Truck series was a demonstration series originally, became a national series. So there's the potential to do something in that space and maybe have a demonstration series, see how the fans react to it, see how we enjoy it as manufacturers, whether it makes sense or not. And then let the future play out from whatever learning we get from that.
Well, Mark, again, appreciate your time, appreciate the insight. Enjoy the weekend. You guys have, well deserved it. And, it's great to be able to see a big smile on your face because, again, you open the year with a bang, and now you'll get a chance to close it out with a bang.
We're excited. We're excited. It'll be a great couple of days. Thanks for the time today.
Registering on EPARTRADE is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to EPARTRADE.